kent için.
Hello, welcome. I would like to welcome you to the session during the MARUF about the neighborhoods. So, today, in the scope of MARUF on the go, we had a marathon, and during this marathon we had some projects which are selected and they will present here, and we are very excited. They are too. So I would like to call them. Firstly, from the local team, Melis Koyuncu.
Merhaba, ben Melis Koyuncu. Marmarathon projesi kapsamında size çalışmamızı aktaracağım. Aslında Marmarathon'da değiştirmek için slaytları pointer var mıdır? Marmarathon sürecinde mahalle ve mahalle ölçeğinde afeti nasıl ele alabiliriz bununla ilgili çalışıyorduk. Bu bağlamda da teşekkür ederim MBB ve SolarPulse ve Uretken Academy'de çok keyifli bir süreç geçirdik. Bu bağlamda bir problem tanımlamamız istenmişti aslında afete ilişkin ve bu problemin çözümüyle ilgili çalışmamız bekleniyordu. Bizim tanımladığımız problem 6 Şubat depremlerinde aslında en gördüğümüz senaryolarda burada gördüğünüz gibi iletilen ihtiyaçların aslında yerine ulaşamaması, bu ihtiyaçların yolda atık gibi kenarlarda kalması, bu süreçte koordinasyon eksikliğinden dolayı bu gibi problemlerle karşılaşmamız, gerek süreçte yer almak isteyen STK'ların kurumsal süreçlere entegre olamaması gibi durumlarda aslında böyle bir problem durumuyla karşılaştık. Aslında bunun çözümü o an üretiliyordu. O an ihtiyaç haritaları üretilmeye hemen başlandı. Afetin hemen sonrasında çeşitli ekiplerce ihtiyaç haritaları oluşturuluyordu. Fakat hemen sonrasında üretilmeye başlanan bu ihtiyaç haritaları dijital bir altyapının oluşturulması, çeşitli ekiplerin bir araya getirilmesi gibi süreçlerin aslında çok uzun uzadıya sürmesi, ne kadar yoğun da çalışsalar çok ciddi zamanlar alması ve sisteme entegre oluş konusunda problem çıkardı. Orada da aslında konum verisi temelli bir ihtiyaç haritası oluşturmuşlardı. Fakat depremden hemen sonra üretilmesi dolayısıyla kullanımı da çok aksaklıklar görülmekteydi. Bir yandan da bu probleme karşılık biz bir potansiyelin farkındayız ki bu da aslında konum verisi, geotek data dediğimiz bizim GIS temelli, şehir planlama temelli imkanların aslında konum temelli verinin bu sisteme nasıl entegre edebiliriz diye düşündük. Aslında bu problemin çözümü için büyük bir potansiyel olduğunu düşünüyoruz. Zira lokasyona ivedi bir müdahaleyi mümkün kılabilecek pratik bir aktarımı olan bir veri seti bu. Yani X ve Y koordinatlarının sayısal olarak iletilmesiyle mümkün olduğu için aslında epeyce kolaylıkla aktarılabiliyor. Bir yandan da zenginleştirilebilir ve özelleştirilebilir olması sebebiyle aslında pek çok farklı duruma entegre olması mümkün. Bir diğer potansiyel ise aslında süreçte çok etkin yer almış olan sivil toplum kuruluşları.
NGOs were very active in this process. The reason why NGOs had problems in the integration was the lack of organization or the hindrances in the communication, and the NGOs to be it is important for us, an important potential for the for the access. We are working on a neighborhood basis, and the organization in the local area, we wanted to carry it over to a digital area. So
kullanılmadığını görüyoruz. Bu nedenle bizim aslında sistem önerimiz bir sistem tasarımından geçiyor. Bu dijital muhtar isimli.
So we have a digital muhtar. So muhtar is the responsible person for the neighborhood, and they work together. So before the we're talking about before the disaster and after the disaster. So in the integration we have a lot of problems when it's not prepared before. So this is a system which can be used even before a disaster. So this is why it's so valuable. Before any disaster, this can be used, for example, for sharing of a activity. You can use this, and you can use this also for as a local app. Different Facebook apps do that too, and the necessity systems are not used. Mapathon is a geotech data but doesn't cover the other parts. So we want to have all of them. So this should be an application which can work before a disaster. It can be integrated and the disabled groups can be added into this. And this is a system which cares for the communication between people. And that is why it's so important that this communication is built before the disaster. And the way to the pathway to here is the neighborhood. And we are expecting, of course, support from these governmental institutions. So this can be a support in terms of data, and it gives us an advantage position during the disaster when we have this data beforehand. We started with the support of UNDP, and we think that we can continue this work with the support of municipalities, not only in the Marmara region, but the whole Turkey is the earthquake-prone region. So this system or application can be disseminated through Turkey. So when it's in broader use, it will be also a nice interface. I am Melis Koyuncu. I am a city planner, and we have other. You see my colleagues here. We are working actively in our neighborhoods, and listen to this.
Sizi sahneye davet ediyorum.
We would like to welcome you with your colleagues to the stage. In the Ideoton, we were together for 2 days, and Hüseyin is the other colleague. We would like to thank him too. So do you have questions to Melissa and the team? So without further ado, the next team is SolarPulse. Ali Osman will make the presentation. My name is Ali Osman Yalçın. I want to talk about SolarPulse, which is there's a daily use and there is also disaster use. During a disaster, it is not. What would you say to your loved ones when you had only 1 second of speaking time? What would you say to them? Well, I'm okay and well. In the daily life, charging a telephone is another big problem. So how do we solve this problem?
Alanlarında kolay erişilebilen ve sürdürülebilir olan bir enerji üssüyle ve aynı zamanda da yine kolay erişilebilen, yine bu sürdürülebilir üssümüzdeki powerbank kiralama hizmetini sunuyoruz. Ürünümüz afet sonrası için bir solar küpten oluşmakta. Bu küp kanatları sayesinde açılmakta, aslında bir büfeye de benzetebiliriz. Hani her tarafından açılıyor. Aslında içinde bir power bank kiralama hizmeti var. Bugün metrolarda gördüğünüz gibi. Aynı zamanda da deprem anında kendine kilitleyerek, ücretsiz bir hale çevirerek insanların her türlü enerji ihtiyacından, USB girişinden Type-C.
So from the USB input to Type-C input, also maybe you can also connect a machine. So it's a model which will help you to supply you with power. The power is generated through solar energy, and we are choosing to put these into locations into the gather areas like parks or large areas where you can be sure that no building will collapse onto it. So for a mobile application, of course, we need here sustainability, so it's also feasible. So it has to be able to sell also without a disaster. So we are renting power banks. So you can send from a location and you can go and rent this power bank, and this is a system you already see in the subway. So you see 50% saving, charge saving for disaster cases. So what happens if you have all of a sudden disaster and there is no power left in the power bank? So whatever you do, then the amount of saved energy doesn't go below 50%. So you can use it. So in global, the goals is $1.3 billion, and this is the target groups, even tourists. Here you see the competition analysis. You have it in subways in Istanbul. These companies are not sustainable, don't work without energy, and they work with the network access and are charging with solar energy. It's of course a little bit slower. It's sustainable. What is our income program? COSGAP and European Commission are giving us grants, and our most important supporter is the sun. We have here our colleagues who work for İTÜ University, TÜBİTAK, and BTM, and like me, Technofest. What do we need? We need our research and development support, mentoring, team colleagues. Thank you for listening. I would like to thank to Marmara Urban Forum, Uretken Academy and Marmara Belediye Superpool. Microphone, please.
Çok teşekkür ederiz. Evet, sorunuz varsa Ali Osman.
Do you have questions to Ali Osman?
Bir sonraki projeyi aslında sahneye davet ediyor olacağım.
Let me invite the other project holder onto the stage. Round of applause, please. From ReGenBuild. Hello, my name is Sude. I'm a second year of business administration at Istanbul University. This is a project that we embarked on because we care for our loved ones. ReGenBuild aims to reinforce reinforceable buildings to render them more resilient to the earthquake at a low cost point. Here you see the latest on excavation numbers. Our solution to all of this problem is to reuse excavation materials and refurbish them and use them in reinforcement activities. We asked a contractor and he gave us an estimate of 200,000 Turkish lira to reinforce 100 square meter of an apartment. These are our partners. We have companies that collect the excavation materials. And facilities have been set up to reuse and recycle the material collected from Kahramanmaraş during the recent earthquakes. This is our analysis of competitors, private sector. We are ahead of them. This is our project team. My name is Sude Mengen. I'm the co-founder of this project. And I'm an entrepreneur for the past year. I have another project on the sustainability platform, green sustainability platform. My partner is Zühal Işıklı, who cannot be with us here today. She's involved in the R&D portion of our project. Let me quickly show you the visuals of our application. This is our panel for common use. We have not forgotten about the proprietors of the apartments or the buildings. Our biggest problem was that we could not pinpoint a particular or specific product to be recycled. This is why we screened and scanned different materials, and we have come up with the following results. We have found out about this particular bacterium, Bacillus subtilis, which is able to cover, which can act as a filler in construction and masonry. What do we need to further grow this project? We need mentorship and R&D. We need financial support. We need cooperation with municipalities and other institutions. We need to be in constant communication with these potential partners. We have team members. We need civil engineers and biomedical engineers. Thank you very much for your attention. This was it. Let's reinforce our buildings with recyclable material. Thank you very much, Sude. Do you have any questions for her? I don't think so. Her co-partner is not here, but we can at least have your picture taken. Thank you. You've listened to the first 10 projects within the framework of Marmarathon. We have a special awardee and to present on behalf of this team, I would like to invite Mrs. Funda onto the stage. AFDEP. Hello, my name is Funda. I am a student of landscaping. I'm in my last year. We took up the issue of self-sufficient storage. Our problem was identified as the chaos emerging in the initial 72 days after the earthquake, security issues, lootings, riots, and so on. So until help arrives, we need to ensure the security and safety of the neighborhoods. Our target audience are assembly areas that have to be renewed, parking spaces and metro stations. This is our competitive analysis based on different factors that you just saw on this slide. We took up the example of İstasyon Mahallesi in the district of Küçükçekmece in Istanbul. There is a sitting area on top of our storage facility, which became the logo of AFDEP. This is our logo. We have only used 3 fixed elements. The material of the sitting area is permeable and it can collect rainwater. We can collect 1.5 liter of potable water and 1.5 liter of rainwater. And can store these amounts. There is also room to store food. In one drawer, you can store up to 3 days worth of necessities of one household. There is a video. Am I able to play that, or are you? And now the whole thing closed and the remote is not working. It's working again. I'm skipping all of this then. We need to prepare space for these storage spaces to be placed, where we need the help and support of municipalities. And in order to render food supplies sustainable, maybe we could purchase food items that are close to their expiration date at half price. This is our team: Başak, Funda, myself, and Rabia. We all took care of different aspects of the project. What do we need? We need the support of the municipalities, we need the support of the neighborhood disaster volunteers, we need firefighters and different brands as sponsors. My name is Funda, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much, Funda. Do you have questions for Funda? I don't think so. Okay, so Funda's team... there is a question. Excuse me. There is no microphone. The question cannot be interpreted. It lasts up to a year. If supermarket chains sell food items that are close to their expiration date, for example 3 months, at half price, I think we could render the entire project more sustainable. Any other questions? No? Okay. So on behalf, I would also like to invite Başak and Rabia onto the stage.
Teşekkür ederiz.
Biz teşekkür
So in the scope of Marmarathon, we had for the last 2 years projects, and these were the presentations. We thank all of the teams. So we have the panel part of our session, and we will have questions and answers. And the moderation I will give to Hasan Usta. Welcome. We have still some time, and we are after this Marmarathon. We still feel the excitement. So I would like to welcome our project leaders here. So Marmarathon is an organization we did inside of MARUF, and the institutions, the municipalities. You don't see in these panels or in these trade fairs not so much young people. You see them more in automotive fairs, for example. But here, in such organizations, you don't see young people participating or listening to. So that's why I think that I would like to congratulate MARUF for integrating the new generation into this creative process, in this participatory process. And in that sense, I would like to welcome Samit Bey to the stage. And our next guests, Şeyma and Başak, Superpool and Uretken Academy. I have a technical difficulty here. Again, welcome. The Marmarathon activity we did with MARUF and with Superpool together, and the participants have also had this process, were part of this process, and our colleagues were here together, and after even a month we see that they are still developing. We didn't receive any questions here to our colleagues, but I think the questions that were asked back then are answered in their presentation. So I guess that's why there were no other questions. So let's start with the Union of Municipalities of the Marmara region. So what do you think about the Marmarathon? What type of experience was this for you? And to have the new generation in your different organizations, what is planned for the future and for the foreseeable future? We have no sound in the booth. No sound in the booth. I would like to thank the participants, and I would like to thank for the effort. A lot of thanks. So you have visited MARUF, I guess. So it's a huge activity here, but sometimes it's not possible to have it in 3 days. So that's why we did MARUF on the go. So we started before MARUF, in physical terms. So we did the work preliminary before, and we see here the end products. This is what was planned. So from this perspective, because of the earthquake, we decided to have the subject theme as earthquake and resilience. So in the second MARUF in 2021, we had the it's important to have a participation of the youth here, because when I was studying, I wasn't very interested in the planning of city planning, and I didn't know that could have a potential effect. So I started after I met with the Union of Municipalities of the Marmara region, and we see that the young generation is very keen on finding solutions to problems. What we are trying to do here is trying to open new doors and disseminate this information so that our young colleagues do know what they are capable of. We have some young people here who are knocking on every door, but sometimes you need for some people a little bit of to make their life easier, to open the pathway for them. So a lot of people who finish the university will continue living in the big cities, so that's why we thought we should make some works to wake their awareness. So this was a marathon, and datathons and application developments was planned, and we gave them some working cases so they can develop. We had also a launch in the Technopark Istanbul, and what type of solutions the private companies can lead to the problems of municipalities was the main questions there. And that was important. I want to give the microphone to the next person, to you, back to you. Another guest here is Beyza Gürdoğan from Superpool. Do you have problems with your microphone? No, let me talk with the handheld. What was your takeaway from the Marmarathon? What do you want to tell us about the works of Superpool, and what in terms of disaster, what do you want to tell about the work of Superpool? Yes, Marmarathon is the voice of the young people in the city, and this is a place where you hear a lot of big companies, big institutions, and also we are listening to the ideas of young people who created their products in 36 hours in a marathon. So we are a creative office as Superpool. We are designing and we are thinking about what can be done in city planning. We're talking about earthquake and disasters and what type of solutions can we have here. And it's urban transformation. Yes, we are talking about transforming the urban area, and architects and city planners are sitting on the table and making new master plans. But what we think is that the neighborhood scale is very important. The first 72 hours after a earthquake will be alone, because we won't be sure when help will come. So therefore, it is important that we know each other in the neighborhood. So that was the idea, to develop these type of processes, and we saw also the steps towards this, and the digital muhtar, so the responsible person of the neighborhood, was a nice idea. So the muhtar, where do we meet it? Who knows who their muhtar is, and who knows who their neighbors are? So are we sure, are they okay? And can I help them, or am I sure that they will help me in case of a disaster or another problem? So when we look at the neighborhood scale, we see that it's very difficult to realize something that was planned on the table in form of a master plan. So we have social scientists in our teams, and we are always playing. We are working with open spaces with play. And in the Marmarathon, there are people from different groups and disciplines, and they're meeting here and creating projects. And during the planning and in the social infrastructure, you can see how this will be be implemented, will be seen, and I hope that this type of cooperation between people and disciplines will continue also in the future, and these are my wishes for the future.
Thank you very much. Your presence and your contribution is very valuable. It's important that you share your experience. Coming to another guest, Mrs. Şeyma Çelik, co-founder of Uretken Academy. I do know for a fact that the majority of you are already following what's up with Uretken Academy, but let me ask the following question. These young people have gotten together a month ago with beautiful ideas and engaged in the Marmarathon. And then Marmarathon was over, and then we had MARUF, so the spirit was upheld. And now they are done with their presentations. So what happens in case the excitement diminishes tomorrow? What needs to be done in order to ensure the sustainability of the excitement that these young people have? Maybe they could do something together even. So, what needs to be done so that these initiatives can be continued? So, two questions. What's up with Uretken Academy? What are you up to? What are you doing? And secondly, you are a team leader that supported many entrepreneurs and people with innovative ideas. What would your recommendations be for these people? So you are now left to your own devices with these two questions. Okay, my microphone is already working. Brilliant. It's wonderful having listened to the Marmarathon process, and we've listened to the awarded projects as well. As Beyza and Samet already mentioned, these projects come from different areas, and people from different disciplines are involved. But the important bit is that these projects were created and designed in 36 hours. We were together during Marmarathon for these 36 hours. They did not sleep, they spent time with their mentors, and they came up with these ideas. And they have proven that they are real entrepreneurs, and you took the first step yourself. Even presenting at this stage is a success in itself as a young entrepreneur. I'm myself a young entrepreneur. It would be nice actually for me to talk a little bit about Uretken Academy. We are in a busy process right now. What we do is we cater to an audience of 18 to 35 and provide support in the areas of IT and other areas. And as Superpool Uretken Academy, we build bridges to other stakeholder partners, which is important for our young entrepreneurs, such as NGOs, civil society organizations, and so on and so forth. We want to increase the number of already supported young entrepreneurs up to 100,000 by the end of this year. I am a lawyer by trade that transferred from a corporate background to the entrepreneurial side of doing business. I founded a company. I am talking to my legal advisor, to my accountant, and so on and so forth, and experience drops in motivation from time to time. Of course, when just as in life you will encounter these challenges and problems when you set up such an enterprise or such a company. And we're also talking about sustainability. You need to make sure that your motivation and excitement never diminishes. You need to preserve that level of motivation so that you can keep going with your business, with your idea. Of course, you need to engage in financing. You need to find funds, allocate funds, and so on and so forth. But I would like to also utter a call to all those institutions that are in a position to support these young entrepreneurs so that they can come together with different shareholders, with potential partners, and so that they can access certain funds. And I have to also point out that the private sector and entrepreneurs operating in the private sector try to access their own funds. We do have access to incubation centers, and organized industrial zones, and we can put together these two sides, these two parties, with our young entrepreneurs, for example, and then we can enable you to, or guide you, take you by the hand to found your own company, if you wish to do so. And there's a lot of responsibility, of course, on the shoulders of our young entrepreneurs. And let me also mention that this is still a very small ecosystem, but it's important to establish contact with potential partners and render this contact sustainable so that you can, in the end, engage in commercial activity as well, which includes social entrepreneurship elements as well. If I would leave you with one single message, it would be that you need to ensure the sustainability of funds. So even at baseline level, you need to be constantly thinking about the sustainability of funding, the sustainability of the contacts and communication that you envision to establish, so that you can in the end engage in commercial activity. As has already been mentioned by previous presenters, go out, dear friends, and ask for the support and help of unions such as the Marmara Municipalities Union or any other public authority for that fact. That's one of the main factors for me, at least. And for the institutions, we need to increase their awareness so that they can themselves assume a certain degree of responsibility. So this is my gist of the matter. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Shema, for outlining the structure and the support provided by Uretken Academy. So mentorship was mentioned multiple times during the presentations. Being in a mentor-mentee relationship is very important. Mrs. Shema mentioned that all of this process is just like life itself. Being an entrepreneur in a country such as Turkey is really a crazy thing to embark on. Why would you want to become an entrepreneur in such an environment where you can easily have access to jobs that are remunerated with 50 or 60,000 Turkish lira? Entrepreneurship is not an easy task to accomplish. You need to keep your baby alive. But the baby will eventually turn into a superhero of yours, because you create products or applications that will keep people alive in the end, vis-a-vis disasters such as earthquakes or floods or any other natural catastrophe. So your baby will become a superhero saving lives. Let's not forget that. You can sharpen the idea, you can change the idea, you can morph it into whatever structure you want to. You can perfect your idea, and please do so. This is my recommendation to you, even though if at times you shall become discouraged. That very point of discouragement is exactly where you need to pick yourself up and take your idea to the next level. I have a timer here in front of me, and this is going to be the last 3.5 minutes. So I'd like to turn once again to the panelists and ask for their final words if they should have any. Let's go in the reverse order this time round. Mrs. Schema, anything that you would like to share as a final statement with our dear friends? Well, Marmarathon was a beautiful event. Generally speaking, what I would like to share with my friends, since I'm an entrepreneur, I'm always talking in my capacity as an entrepreneur. Time is crucial here. You are an entrepreneur, but you need to excel in time management because you have a limited amount of resources. So this is why you should engage in valuable and accredited programs and spend time in accredited institutions and programs so that you don't lose any time. Because what's most important during these young years is time. We're constantly in a rush and we hustle and bustle, but you may easily skip and oversee certain important items if you rush. So time management is crucial. Please be very discerning in your choice of programs that you would like to engage in. This is my recommendation. There is a syndrome called Puma syndrome. You might have heard of it. And what's particular about the Puma syndrome is the following. The animal puma, when it detects its prey, runs after it, but it makes a calculation. If we are talking about a deer of 20 kilogram, if I hunt that deer, I will be satiated for 8 hours. But if the prey doesn't provide the necessary energy, then the puma cuts short the hunt. So this is a prime example of time and resource management on behalf of the puma. That was my contribution. Let's keep that in mind. Thank you very much for that input. Don't be hesitant knocking on institutions' doors. You never know who might be of benefit to you. Of course, you need to set up a good action plan and be wise in your time management, but also take risks. I'm not talking about big risks, but rather small risks. Don't give up. Just keep going. Great. Thank you very much to Superpool, and the word goes to our host. Thank you very much for the organization of the entire event. What do you have to say lastly? Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your kind words. Yes, we may be the host organizer here, but everyone is a host really. I would like to thank all the young people here, me included or excluded, that's debatable, but joke aside, you may have realized that Many people participating in these sessions we've organized are university students. Please keep up this enthusiasm and this interest. This is from me to you. Let's get together, let's mingle, because there's tons to be learned from each other. Okay, so my time is really up. Okay, that was it. Okay, let's have a picture taken standing, and then we'll take the presenters also onto the stage to have a larger group photo taken. Thank you very much for your participation, distinguished audience. I hope this was interesting to you. Or we may have even sparked new ideas and planted some seeds for future endeavors. I wish you all the success in the world. Thank you very much for your attention and for listening.